Hi, guys, and welcome to the Making of Her Unapologetically. This is a podcast for real women having real conversations and truly talking about what makes us her. My name is Trina, aka Trinidad, and I'm your co-host, Betty, aka the Betty Sister. Yes. And yeah, this is just an honest space to have good conversation, unfiltered conversation, and let's just talk about what's on our minds. So, want to dive into pressures at
Work, home, friendships, identity, on and on and on. Topics about just everything society doesn't really want to talk about, or things that are taboo, or things that you get shamed for talking about, I think,
absolutely.
or things
Yeah,
that we want to dive into. Just dive into the pressures and the expectations, the silent struggles. And when a woman decides to take a bold decision, and rise up anyway, the backlash she gets. Because God forbid she says, "No, I don't wanna do what you're saying."
that's true.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of things we want to dive into that the society doesn't want us to, and I feel like when we talk about it, we get stronger as a group.
And you might talk about it anyway.
Yes.
Like, it's just stuff we just like, I'll call you, you call me, like, "Girl." And we just gist. And the funny I don't know if it's necessarily funny, but the great thing about it is, um, we're 2 career women, we're mothers, we're wives, and we're type A. You might you I feel like for a long time I denied it. I was like, "Nah, I'm not like, no, I'm not Richard. I'm not." Like, and we have these certain standards, but then it's like trying to how do we navigate a world that not necessarily doesn't meet our standards, but being able to be around people that you feel are genuine.
But this is what we're talking about right now. Like, it's okay to say the world does not meet our standards. There's not,
Can we
and
say
this is, yes, we can. This is the whole point of having the space for it because we're always trying to fit the mold. We're always trying to say what's politically correct. We're always trying to say what will make the next person feel comfortable. And it's not about being mean to the next person. It's just about being honest to ourselves as women.
I think and this is where you and I connected because when we met, it was very much I don't know what it was or how we knew that we could just be direct and
Yes.
honest with it.
Yes.
You remember exactly what I said that day. I can't even remember because that's me. I say,
Uh,
I let it out, I move on.
no. Right.
And some people might find that an issue, right? Some of these that we're also going to dive into is about culture. You know, we are Black women, we are African women married to
Can we
African
repeat
men.
that again?
We are Black
Black women.
African women, because there's a difference.
Hmm.
That's a whole other episode.
Absolutely.
Married to African men,
Yeah.
right? And so it's also, just diving into conversations of how do you navigate just the cultural aspect as well, because we're living in very much of a duality of, where we come from, where we live, where we work, where we play, where we raise our children. And they're living in a duality as well. So it's all of these topics, right? How do we
Absolutely.
navigate that? How do we navigate being a strong woman in a society that from the front appreciates strong women, but the culture we're from does not appreciate strong women? God forbid you're a single strong woman. Oh, you could die alone apparently.
My husband actually has a comment for this, and he says, Trina, you're so strong that if we lived in the times where,
Our parents lived.
yeah,
Oh,
it's like, he's like, you would probably be brought to the, what's it, is it Market Square? and be beaten because
yeah,
of how strongly and firmly
and
like
opinionated and
that you are. And you know what? It's okay. I'm okay with who I am.
but it, but how long did it take you to become okay with who you are?
Is that a story for today?
I don't think it's sorry for today, but just like so, this is just an idea of some of the things we're going to be chatting about because,
Yeah.
and I asked you that question because as you were saying it, I started thinking, oh my gosh, how long did it take me to become?
I'm actually blinking so fast because I'm trying to remember the time when this happened for me.
Yeah,
And I think it was only a few years ago. And when I say a few years ago, like this is after my master's.
yeah,
Yeah. And I think a lot of what happened was a lot of friends fell away from me.
hmm
A lot of relationships fell away from me.
and you were forced to
And
grow and be strong individually.
absolutely. And I was like, it's okay
Yeah,
to not care. It's okay to be strong. It's okay to be you. And
yeah.
if anybody doesn't like it, that's
It's okay.
okay. Exactly.
Okay is the buzzword of the day. It's
Okay.
okay.
We are okay.
Everything's okay. And if it's not okay, it will be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we said okay so many times. Maybe
If we had
we
a
start drinking wine every time we say okay.
each time we'll say okay.
Do we?
I
Okay.
appreciate it's interesting. I appreciate that because I feel like I went through something similar. And speaking of I guess the cultural aspect of it, um, where we come from, it's very much I'm not too sure if it's the same in like the Western society, but where we come from, it's very much the yardstick to me is married, having kids, right? Nobody when they're setting those yardsticks, nobody talks about oh being, the CEO, president, whatever. Those are not. It's, being the married friend with the kid in the group. And I remember in my friend group at the time,
Yeah.
I was the first one to have a kid.
Okay.
All of my friends were still living their single,
I make that face because I'm like, you just like moved into a different space in time.
did.
And then everybody's still like
Everybody
fighting
was
hard.
exactly right. And it got to a point where my friend, like, when you start having kids and friends stop calling you.
Mm.
When they call you and they know that they're calling you to be nice, so you can't say they didn't ask you, but
How
they
do you?
know you're going to say no or they hope you say no.
Okay. I'm listening. Wait, was this the time? Was this the time when you decided? Like,
I think so I think that was the catalyst for me because like I said, I was the first one in the friend group to change. I wasn't going to the club with them anymore. I wasn't like I'm not doing after party and then after like I'm tired. I want to go home.
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Right? So that's what it was. It was I was forced to change, even if like mentally I didn't want to because my
Mm.
priorities changed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And when they say with your first kid, you are obsessed, you want to do everything natural, you want to stuff like that.
Mm.
So I was forced to change. That's what it was. And so, like I said, your friends call you just because they feel obligated to, but then time passes and they realize that formality just goes out the window. They realize they don't have to do it anymore because they already know your answer. And if you get mad at them and say, well, you didn't, they'll now tell you, but you always say no anyway. And then you feel bad because you always say no anyway. Does that make sense?
Canada's like
So I went
why?
through that. And so similar to you, you can call it an undoing,
Uh-huh.
essentially.
I like that word. Undoing. I feel like that's a good word.
It was an
Yeah.
undoing. So it was like you look left, you look right.
Nobody. Hello.
Yeah. And you don't want to be that person in the friend group. You don't, when you're the person in the friend group that you're the other one that is in your serious relationship, married with kids.
Mhm.
And it seems like that's all you talk about. Do you know what I mean? And everybody's starting
Everybody gives you this face like, are we
here
not
she comes
done
again.
having this conversation? Can we just move on? Can she stop talking about her kids?
Her child grew another tooth. The same way her child grew many other teeth, right? They get tired. So it's one of those where, like I said, it's an undoing. And so then you start to think, at
Yeah.
least if you're, I guess, a responsible parent, you start to, your thinking is different. It's not just, what's the party happening next weekend? It's, I have this new human that I have to keep alive. Okay, great. I've kept it alive after the first year. I got
Mhm.
to keep it alive for many more years. University, extracurricular activities, health, wealth. Well, again, if generational wealth, start thinking about all of those things. Maybe conversations that the people you were with aren't there yet. Maybe they haven't arrived at those conversations, and
Mhm.
maybe they haven't
Mhm.
arrived at those thought processes yet.
Yeah.
You can't force it on them. So that's why I said the word, it becomes an undoing because
Oh, I like that. This is gonna be the title for this one.
the
The
undoing.
undoing. The undoing. And I think let's take a moment here and like maybe talk about like maybe a good background of who we are,
Yeah.
where we're from, what we do as our 9 to 5.
Because they're not, and then our 5 to 9.
Uh-huh. And then just who we are. I know it's a hard question to say what defines us.
Because typically when you ask somebody, hey, who are you? We always talk about our career.
We're not gonna do that. We're gonna talk
It's
about
part
so
of
much
us.
more. It is part of us, but this is
Just
why
a part.
there's so much to us than just the 9 to 5. So
Yeah.
I want maybe you take it off. Tell us who you are.
I'm going to disappoint you. I'm going to start with I am a career woman. And I'm going to say it because I've made my mother proud so she can brag in front of her colleagues that my
Okay.
daughter does this. Who am I? So I feel like in 2026, it's so typical. It's so everybody's chasing after being in tech. Everybody's chasing after, So I am a she, naturally born.
Uh-huh.
I'm a career woman. I work in the tech field. I am a mother. I'm a wife, but I'm also a curious individual. And when I say curious individual, what I mean is going back to what we said earlier of where we come from and where we live, that duality of, this part of the world really fosters and encourages you to be who you are on the outside. But there's microaggressions, but that's a different conversation.
Mhm.
Um, and then being from a culture that they say they encourage you to be, loud and proud of who you are, but
Yeah.
realistically, you don't want to do it too much because that makes you unmarketable. So I'm a curious
Yeah.
individual. Mm, I I want to say I'm ambitious in the sense that I'm a firm believer that our parents' ceiling should always be our floor.
Absolutely.
And so being a wife and a mother, my brain is always going, not what's the next thing, but what can we do that's sustainable
Uh-huh.
for our family for generations.
Yeah.
Um, I was recently watching, it was a podcast, and the host was talking about studies that show generational wealth. Family businesses don't survive 3 generations.
Really?
I have
Okay.
to go look. I'll send you the stuff.
Okay.
But it was intriguing to me. So I hear and see things like that, and I'm the kind of individual that whenever I see something that they say, "Well, this isn't. We don't do this. This is not
Oh,
coming." That's the thing. Me, I want to do
yeah.
things.
I agree. I like that.
Like so, when I hear something like that, that generations don't last beyond 3 generations, I go, "Well, why?" And then you look at places like the Walmarts, the Costco's, like these big conglomerate.
Yeah.
What do they do? And so when I hear studies, major studies that show, well, it doesn't go past, it doesn't stay solely within the family for 3 generations is the actual thing. I want to know what was done in
Mhm.
those worldwide known brands and names. And that's the model I want to try to do.
Okay. That's a very good way to look at things.
So I'm a curious person. I won't why you to death. Um, but I want to know where that stance comes from. Is it going to be an answer of, well, that's just the way things are where we come from? Well, that's not adequate enough for me.
Okay.
Because that means you're telling me you are not a free thinker. You're not able to go beyond the mold. You're not you know? And I feel like in 2026, you can't be like that.
Can be like what,
You
Jovi?
can't be just satisfied with fitting into the mold. And,
Oh, okay.
America
Okay.
says this thing that you can't force people to do what they don't want to do. You can't force change. That is true. But in 2026, where kids are waking up, kids our age of our kids are waking up and saying, I want to do this. And they're so determined. We got 8, 9, 10-year-old multimillionaires.
Mm,
What is it that you guys say in Nigeria? Do they have two heads? No, they woke up and they were determined, and they didn't just say, well, kids at this age are not supposed to be
mm,
millionaires. That's not normal.
yeah.
That's not how it's done. No, things are being done a new way now. So that is who I am, Trinidad. I am not
That was a
complex.
long.
Who am I? Curious. I'm not complex. I think curiosity is the peak of who I am.
Oh,
For you,
curiosity is the peak of
that is it.
why. Girl, okay.
Start with the t-shirt.
Oh, I like that though. Oh, you are saying so many things that I'm gonna like take somewhere and write down. Curiosity is the peak of who I am. Done.
Merch
Mic drop.
coming. Merch coming.
Um,
Who are you?
who am I? I'm still trying to figure out who I am. I'm not gonna
You're a
lie.
boss babe now. Stop.
um, I'm curious for sure. Let's start with the 9 to 5 and get it out of the way. Why don't we?
It's
Uh,
ingrained in us.
I'm an engineer by profession, 9 to 5. I also have a couple of
You're a boss babe.
let's say that
5 to 9.
in a 5 to 9.
You're not a small baby now. You have businesses. You have
Uh,
properties. What I'm talking about.
Girl, don't be putting all my things in the streets, man. What are you doing?
How they say that you should talk to people who are in places you want to be. I'm just saying let's put your accolades down now.
Thank God.
So we let
I'm Nigerian. I can't help it.
thank God.
But yes, I'm an engineer. I do have a couple of side gigs that I am running. But I think what truly defines me as a person is just, I don't want to say curiosity because I can't talk onto what you said, but I'm still trying to find my why. And if my why means diving into new challenges, if it means knocking heads with new people and exploring new things and things like that, if it means honestly checking out my spirituality to see if I'm doing the right thing I should do, like I'm a person who is consistently trying to figure out what my why is at the end of the day. And that takes me into so many things. This is why I'm here with the Betty. Sissy. Yeah, that honestly is all. I always enjoy new challenges. I enjoy meeting people of a certain standard, and I'm not afraid to say that.
Yeah.
So
What is your buffering for that? Like how because how there are two types of people I find. There's the type of person that the moment they meet you, they'll know you're it or you're not. Then there's the other people that deep down they might know, but they'll say, oh, let me give them a chance. Okay. So what is your buffering? I am very much, I'm not the latter. If I meet you and I know it ain't it, we can be cordial in the moment, maybe share. I'm not really a social media person. And so I'll meet people these days. I think that's one of my bufferings. Like if I meet you and you're a person that lives and dies on these social platforms, and I'm not talking about it being for business because there are some very public, private figures.
Okay.
Right? They're in the public. They do social media in many different facets, but you know nothing about them. But they're in your face every day. That one I can get with because who doesn't love that? But if one of the things that I see is like you are just I need to know what kind of bagel you ate for breakfast. it just doesn't do that, right? So
Yeah.
what is your buffering? Like I said, for me, I can talk to you a few minutes in, I already know.
Yeah.
Like I know, like we'll giggle and say,
I'm
oh my
not gonna
God, we should get together
at the
again.
same thing.
We're not getting together again.
Yeah. Um, I think I'm the same thing. It's just a feeling. And I know people, I don't want to go into auras or things like that, but I find that when I meet people, you can just,
You know.
you kind of just like, you can tell based on the person's aura and like presence and maybe conversation in a couple of minutes that you want to roll with this person.
Or not.
And yeah, the other one where it's like,
Let me give them a
let me give them a
chance.
chance. That's just more like aging, like being mature and saying, I'm gonna give this person a little bit more grace. But girl, after
I know.
2 grace periods, I'm sorry. If I'm not making dates with you and like, hey, let's meet up now because I really have passed and moved on.
When you talk, going back to the whole undoing, I think part of my undoing was I'm so specific about who I give my energy to.
Girl, yes.
Again, to the fact that we're
But we
busy.
have to be. We actually have to be. YOLO. We live only
Huh?
once.
Did you just,
Ah, I have to.
here?
I just. You live only once, and life is so precious.
It is. But do you know that you actually have to go through certain experiences to come to that realization?
Absolutely. That goes
And
back to your undoing.
not everybody has gone through that. Some people are going through it right now. Some people will go through it later.
Yeah.
And so you have to, and it's crazy because when somebody says you only live once, well, duh, right? But then it's going beyond just the carnal aspect of it. It's look, I have so many things that I'm doing that my hand is into. You know, we're career women, we work hard. Our jobs are demanding of us. After that, our homes are demanding of us. There's a lot demanding of me.
Yeah.
I need to carve out time to even pour into my own cup. And like, it was last year or year before last, I started learning how to prioritize me and my energy. I know, girl. Girl, I started therapy. It was my therapist that
Let's
said,
talk.
and that is a taboo in our culture. All right? So why would you pay somebody to tell somebody your problems? But I literally, I had to start going to therapy. My therapist was like, what do you do for yourself? And I'm like, what do you mean? I lay in bed, I put my foot up, I might read a book. She's like, do you take time to go for a massage? Do you ask for help?
We've talked about this massage thing, and we're gonna get back to it again because I'm a strong believer in massages. I will.
I went
I
for one
can't,
the other
especially this.
day. I went for one the other day. Listen, not to cancel a meeting or two because I was like, I have an emergency, and the emergency was my reset. Like I'm not.
So I have a question. I want give us like tell like I want us both of us to share not a like maybe a moment, but a period of undoing, like specifics, because I know that everybody out there is experiencing this in
Mhm,
some way or form. It could be after you just had your first child. It
mhm,
could be after your return to work,
mhm.
you know, major life changes. It could be so many things. Uh, just wanted to know, like, well, oh, give me one example of your undoing. I can start
Yeah,
if
I
you
need a
feel.
moment to think about that.
Well, for me, I think that was when one undoing was definitely when I moved from Nigeria to
Ah,
Canada.
that one will do it.
You know what I mean? Um,
That is undoing.
and let's not kid ourselves. Parties, we're partying in Nigeria. And you come to Canada, Alberta, to say the least, where
Everybody's the minister of minding my own
minding your
business.
own business. And maybe I'm not in those groups where they party,
Oh,
right?
there's parties happening. You just
But maybe I'm not just part of those
don't know.
underground crews,
You didn't know.
but that shift and, leaving all my friends back in Nigeria, leaving all the people I knew and everything, and coming here. And yes, I came for my master's at that point in time, but such a small fraction of people checked in on you.
Hmm.
It went from having your weekends all planned out
Yeah.
weeks ahead to I have nothing to do.
Going on.
And that was one undoing for me because it took me, and I'm not even kidding, it took me close to 6 months
Hmm.
to get adjusted to, wow, I
This place
don't
is
have
lonely.
exactly. This place is lonely, and I guess they were not my friends. I guess. No, look at this is my standard of friendship. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
kid. It does not matter. And I think we need to be okay with saying this.
Yeah.
I have a few friends. I am not the person that has
Your
20
circle is a
friends.
dot.
When I call you my friend,
Yeah.
you know you're my friend.
Yeah.
And it does not matter. Space, time, I want to say continuum, whatever it is between us, it does not matter. I will be there for you if you're my friend.
Yeah.
And just that undoing happened in terms of like moving from Nigeria to Canada and realizing that, okay, these were work people, these were
Acquaintances.
acquaintances,
Yeah.
these were your party folk. And it got me to understand how to categorize people
Hmm.
a whole lot different because I'm not gonna kid you, maybe one or two people up till today in Nigeria still talk to me,
Regularly.
maybe four, but not a whole bunch of people as compared to when I
You were back
lived
home.
in Nigeria. So that was one undoing for me. What about you?
Question for you though, first
Okay.
before. Do you think that undoing was really I don't want to say this, was providing clarity because
Yeah.
many times our environments provide convenience.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
And so
Yeah.
all those people, because if it was so easy for them to fall off, then likely it was more convenient.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, because when you're in school,
Mm-hmm.
um, I remember for me every semester break,
Mm-hmm.
maybe semester break. You know how when the semester's coming to around and you have 20 people, you say, "Oh yeah, we have to catch up this summer." Do you ever
Lies.
catch up? But yet when you're on campus, you have one to come every day. You guys are studying together. You're calling each other. Like you're under each other so much. And then summer break comes, you forget their name. So do you think that's what it was? It was
Oh, it
the
was
convenience
definitely,
removed.
definitely. I think it's just like how they say, what's that thing now where you have to test things to see whether they're actually um they're gonna stand the test of time. Or
Oh
the
yeah,
test, like,
for us.
do you know what I mean? So
Mm,
I think that move was something that not only gave more clarity, but
mhm.
also tested who was truly meant to be
Yeah,
and who was not. It's as simple as that.
yeah,
That's what happens with every other relationship, be it friendship, be it whatever it is. Like
yeah.
things will test it. Whatever stands, stands, right?
The great thing is undoings I find also it creates space for because we humans are creatures of habit and we hold on to things that are
Routines,
suffocating
yes.
us. Not just routine, things will be suffocating us and we're like, what's that? You know how a snake will just
Oh my
won't
God.
it won't let go. It's
Okay.
just like and the thing with us is because we aren't no matter how much anybody says, oh, I love change, but humans are not susceptible to change. La la.
I do love change. Not gonna lie, though. But go ahead.
What kind of change? Are different types of change. I love changing my wardrobe.
I like uncomfortable.
I hate and some people might say, "What?" I hate changing jobs. Like having to go through the, especially these days, the interview process. You're now in a new company. You have to do those fake. Oh, let's have lunch. Let's I have to do this all over again. Like if I could get a new job, just as an example, and bypass all of that, I wouldn't mind it. But that is part of the process you cannot skip or escape.
I think that's where you and I are going now.
Oh,
Different
you
ways.
don't care. I don't know you. You don't know me.
So let's do
Never
it.
mind that.
Let's go.
Okay, so I think I think one for me, and I'll preface this by saying we go through different types of undoings when a different level is required of us.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I've found myself having different types of people at different stages of my life,
Absolutely.
right? That's forced different types of growth. So, and I feel like you and I are going to go, like just everybody, we're going to go through another type of undoing because that is requiring a new level for our lives.
Yes. Mhm.
So, what is one? So, unlike you, the difference is I grew up here,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
I came here when I was 5, 6. I didn't have that culture. I had a reverse culture shock in a way. So, my family came here because of the war back home,
Yeah.
right? And so, when it was finally declared safe for us to go back home to Sierra Leone, I think that was a bit of an undoing for me because if I can, like, pinpoint one of my earliest undoings, I would say it was that because we came to this country on a humanitarian aid. I didn't grow up rich. My mom was a nurse from an African country who came abroad and had to redo everything she had done back in our home country because this part of the world doesn't recognize that, God forbid, you actually know anything. You must go through our education. That's a different episode.
Hmm.
Uh, so having a mother who had to go through, the recertification process to
Hmm.
become a nurse again in a new country, all of that. We grew up modest. But one thing that's admirable is just the achievements and the yardsticks that she set for us,
Hmm.
coming here. And they say when you move to a new country or a new place, within the first 5 years is like the hot period,
Okay.
right? And so within the first 5 years of moving here from a war-torn country, we came here with one suitcase amongst all of us. All
Hmm.
the tiny things we could pack up, we brought,
Yeah.
right? And within those first 5 years, recertifying to be able to practice in this country, buying first home,
Yeah.
just and on top of that, during those 5 years, also supporting family back home, paying for education of cousins, uncles, aunts, building homes for people, all of that stuff. And so that was the example I grew up with. And public school here is different than public school back home.
Yeah.
Just everyday living is different.
Okay.
Back home is very clear to see who has and who doesn't. Here, you're not that sure because there's all these social assistants that can kind of blur the lines for people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like somebody can be living very dirt poor, but you wouldn't really know it from the outside because there's social assistance that covers that. And so that's what I grew up seeing. So when I say like my very first undoing was my first ever trip back home and seeing, oh, there is very definitive class separation.
Oh, okay.
What is normal for me as a kid growing up, I wake up, I go to school. Um, if I don't have lunch, I will not go hungry because the school will provide lunch for me. Stuff like that. And then going back home and seeing different family members and seeing the different types of
Mm.
classes, even within my own family. Within my own family, you have doctors, you have lawyers, you have nurses, and then you have the ones who live in the very poor parts of the country.
Hmm.
You have the ones who live in the village. You have the ones who,
Huh.
yeah,
I never thought of it that way. So.
that was the very first, we're going to see one of my cousins who is the dean of the School of Medicine. And then we go see one of my other family members in the village who's a hawker.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh,
Interesting.
okay.
That's so crazy.
You're there for a month or two. You get back on a plane and you come back home to your 24/7 light, your there's always food in the fridge, you know, things you don't skip a beat in everyday life. And then you sit back and you start to think about that cousin who's a hawker and the cousin who's the president of the School of Medicine.
Hmm.
Why do you get this consistent good life? And it's such
Disparity.
yeah.
Hmm.
I think one of my earliest memories or one of my earliest enjoyments would be that.
Hmm.
Yeah. And of course, over the years, you have so many more. As a young teen, young adulthood, as an adult.
I just had a memory.
What was the memory?
Another, and I don't think it's kosher.
You say you don't think it's kosher? Now I want to know.
Oh my goodness, no, no.
What is it?
I cannot. Don't worry.
That's what
For another time. No, I think you're right. As we go through life and we go through different experiences.
Mm.
Honestly, just hearing what you just said now brought a sense of gratefulness to my heart.
Oh, yeah.
We don't think about it so much. It's been a long time.
Being grateful is also intentional, you know that, right? Because there's many people who go through life thinking that the privilege they've been afforded or they've been offered is their right.
Yeah.
So being in a state of gratitude is also an intentional act. And that's something else I've had to learn over time,
Yeah.
that I don't have these things because I'm supposed to have them. Because what makes me better than the next person
Yeah.
that doesn't?
Thanks.
It is.
Okay,
Well, my
so
friend Trina, I think this this is great because I think just even this first chat, this first sit down of who we are, what this is going to be about. This is just a glimpse. This is tiny bit of our literally our everyday life, our everyday
yeah, and I think that's what it is. We're just trying to bring other people into our chats,
yeah.
finally finding somebody that I could connect with on a very honest level.
Mhm.
No, yes, nothing of that sort. And, if I'm experiencing things and she's experiencing things, there's a very, very high chance that other people are
Yeah.
experiencing the same thing. So
And
this
not
was,
everybody has the not everybody has been afforded the ability to have a sounding board is one thing I've realized is that's another thing I'm grateful for is because not everybody has that sounding board. Not that everybody has to think like you, because I think another beautiful thing is to have people to challenge your perspectives and your thoughts and to force you to think a little bit differently because I think that fosters growth,
absolutely.
right? So, as you were saying, these are our regular chats. These are regular conversations, be it on phone when we hang out. And so we wanted to sit down in this format and say, hey, look, let's bring other people into this conversation. Join the conversation with us. Let us know your thoughts, chat with us.
I
What are
would love, love, love to hear your undoing. And even if
yeah.
you can't share it, do dot, 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 or, any of those symbols. I will get you. I see you. But yeah, I think this is going to be undoings, what undoing changed who you were and
Yeah.
got you closer to who you are today. Yeah, I don't know.
And
There,
closer to who you want to be.
absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah, I think
And
we've given them, like we said, a glimpse of what our day-to-day conversations are like.
yes,
Join the conversation. Let us know your
please.
thoughts. Let us know what you're doing. Let us know topics you might want to hear, right? Because we want to develop a community, a space where you can feel free to say, look, this thing doesn't make sense and let's chat about it. If what we're saying is rubbish, let us know. If what
Yeah.
we're saying is on point, let us know.
And yeah, just know that finally, even if you didn't before, you finally have a space to be honest and be the authentic person that you want to be. So that's why we're having these conversations. And I would truly, truly love to hear back. We would truly love to hear back from you guys to hear amazing, amazing, or maybe not so amazing experiences and undoings.
It's
So,
still part of your story because, as we said at the top of this, we're diving into daily expectations, the pressures of life,
you know,
regardless of which part of the globe you're in. The silent struggles, because let's not kid ourselves, we all have those silent struggles. The bold choices that you choose to make. What was that bold choice that you made that said, I don't care what anybody else says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it with my full chest,
mhm,
you know? This is the making of her unapologetically. And as we are becoming her unapologetically, we want to chat with those who are also becoming her unapologetically,
yeah.
but even the ones that aren't sure what that looks like for them. I'm really curious about those as well.
Okay.
Because honestly, becoming her isn't about perfection at all. Despite what society might make us think, it's about truth. It's about growth. It's about burning. It's about choosing yourself. It's about undoing and redoing
Mhm.
over and over again in iterations,
Yeah.
right? I
So,
didn't mean to PM the heck out of that, but in those iterations, mm,
so let's get into it.
join the conversation.
All right. See you on the other side and chat soon. Bye, guys.